Is it recording? I guess it's recording. Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 14. I'm your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Modern Age Nerd. What's up, Nerd?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
All right. So there was a few articles, Nerd, that hit the news today. One being a massive article on Star Trek. Now, let me find this article. Okay, Star Trek writer Roberto Orci responds to fan criticism. And just like Simon Pegg, he told fans to go F themselves. Okay, so let's see. This is coming from Digital Spy. Roberto Orci has criticized fans after reading the article about the franchise is broken. There's a majority of the fans think the Star Trek is broken because what they did in Into Darkness, they're not happy with the alternate universe thing. Now they've stolen stuff from Wrath of Khan. They changed it. So this is what he's going to say here. See, on September 1st, the fan site published an article titled Star Trek is Broken. Here are the ideas on how to fix it, which prompted the writer to comment on the site under the screen name Bo Borci. Orci's identity has been confirmed by TrekMovie.com moderator Matt Wright. Orci wrote, I think the article above is akin to a child acting out against his parents. Makes it tough for some to listen. But since I am a loving parent, I read these comments without anger or resentment, no matter how misguided. He rejected the idea that Star Trek is broken, adding that the last two movies had received the best reviews. The 40-year-old continued, having said two biggest Star Treks in a row with best reviews is hardly a description of broken. And frankly, your tone and attitude make it hard for me to listen to what might otherwise be decent notions to pursue in the future. As I love to say, there is a reason why I get to write movies, and you don't. Wow. He went on to respond to criticism on Star Trek Into Darkness, which was recently voted the worst movie in the long-running franchise by fans at the convention. Orci responded that Star Trek Into Darkness was infinitely more social commentary than Raiders in every universe, and I say that with Harrison Ford being a friend. You lose credibility big time when you don't honestly engage with the effing writer of the movie asking you an honest question. You prove the cliche of snotty fans and rude in the process. So as Simon Pegg would say, F off. Orci has subsequently suggested that he regrets his comments, tweeting, hope you know many fans don't agree with your obnoxious comments directed at you, and then he said, still sorry I reacted that way. But once again, he did react that way. So what do you have to say about that, Nerd?
Oh, first off, I really like Star Trek Into Darkness.
Right.
And I'm afraid there's always going to be these annoying little Star Trek fans, or these people who are like, the fusion generator in episode 118 of season 1 of Star Trek was in this spot. And in the movie, it was in this spot. They got it wrong, and they have a full-on cry about it and stuff. It's ridiculous. But listen to this. Star Trek was dead when J.J. Abrams rebooted it. Star Trek was dead. There was no series. It was cancelled. Enterprise got cancelled. All the movies sucked. The Next Generation movies were terrible. There was only a few good Star Trek movies. The first Star Trek movies was the boringest piece of crap I ever watched in my life. Star Trek the Motion Picture. Old men sitting around for 3 hours doing nothing. So, what do you want? You want a remake of the Motion Picture. J.J. Abrams basically said, you know what, I'm going to give general audience, and we're going to make some money out of this. But he added young people, he added action in it, he added everything that people wanted to see out of a movie. He was trying to get everyone to explore Star Trek, not just the Star Trek audiences, because most Star Trek audiences are like, oh my god, they changed Star Trek, they changed it. But reality is, only Trekkies would have seen it if it was just a normal Star Trek movie. And you're not going to get any new fans that way. And that's not the way to release a movie. Like, say there's things such with Doctor Who, 50th anniversary, they've got to do certain things in this to get other audiences in.
Right.
They can't just do their thing. And by doing the Star Trek reboot all differently in that, he engaged people such as myself in Star Trek, and it made us want to go watch the old Star Trek. He gave newer audiences a new fresh take on Star Trek that wasn't just men sitting around a computer or shit for 3 hours, and I think it was great. The first Star Trek Into Darkness, I mean, J.J. Abrams, all he wanted to do really was pay homage to Wrath of Khan in a way, and I don't think when he was writing it or he was working with writers and they were directing it, he realised that people would have the backlash that it did. He just thought it would be something nice, a kind of nod to Wrath of Khan that he would do. I don't think he intended to piss people off, because J.J. Abrams, I don't think that bloke wants to piss people off because everybody knows how cruel diehard fans are of the series. George Lucas experienced it in Star Wars. Stephen Moffat's experienced it now with Doctor Who. I don't think they intentionally put themselves in these situations. They're just trying to make the best possible. Because let's be honest, $250 million, whatever it cost to make that movie, and the amount of time spent on it, they're not going to spend all that time just to make something they know that's going to piss people off. They were trying their hardest. A lot of people like Star Trek Into Darkness. It's the highest rated summer blockbuster this year. It's 86% on Rotten Tomatoes compared to like Man of Steel with 56% or Iron Man with 78%. And it made its budget back. What did it make worldwide? It was about $500 million in the end.
The budget was $190 million exactly, and it made worldwide so far. It's basically done because it's coming. It's on 462,702,543. So that's what it finished off at as. So that's a huge profit margin from 190 million. So yeah, it did, but majority of it. Here's the thing, it did make 228 million in domestic, markets. Now foreign markets, it made 234 million. So it was like a double. It really did awesome overseas. I gotta say, it did phenomenal. But I know they expected it to do better here. But it did make over its budget, So with the foreign markets alone, it actually got approved for a sequel when it actually made only, I think, like a little over 200 million because they knew it was going to do, I guess, over time. And that's what this movie did. Over time, it had staying power, which I was kind of shocked because I thought, the moment it didn't do that great here, what they expected. Like if it costs 190 million to make, they expected it to do 400 million here, but it made up for it overseas. So it got approved for a sequel, Star Trek 3. Now I think the problem, you did I think your response was actually phenomenal. Because I think, you really got it on the ball, and I couldn't even have said it better if I tried. But the one thing I have a gripe with is the fact that they reversed the scene from Wrath of Khan, and I felt that two things. If he wouldn't have been Khan character, I would have been happy with it. It would have been John Harrison just... you're having a new universe. The purpose of creating a new universe is to not repeat the old universe, okay? But they did. So that was kind of like a contradiction of what they promised. Two, if J.J. Abrams never saw Wrath of Khan, the writer obviously saw it, and he kind of used that and twisted it. Now, from my perspective as a writer, I have a gripe with it because that was basically another writer's work that they basically redid in their image and twisted. But why almost go word for word? If it's a new universe, why does this have to happen that way? Why couldn't they have done something else? Why couldn't it have been a different character, not Khan, for this universe? And then why couldn't they have not killed Kirk but made him severely injured or something? Or something. Where he had to be healed, but not like that he dies. I didn't like that they repeated that. And then Spock is talking to Spock Prime. Like, everybody on the Enterprise sees that. Nobody's like, oh my God, there's two Spocks. You know what I'm saying? But the special effects were absolutely phenomenal. The acting was above average. It was action-packed, I gotta say. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it is the most successful Star Trek movie, I think, of all time. I think.
And listen to this. That ranking system of the best Star Trek movie and how it got voted worst, you do know Galaxy Quest was on that list.
They did that for spite. They did that as a dig. saying that they would put that above that being a movie. Now, let's go over the box office for the Star Trek movies. And we're going to go in each one. So we said 462 was Into Darkness, right? The other Star Trek by J.J. Abrams was 385 million, with a budget of 150 million. So that was massively profitable. And we're going to go back further than that. Nemesis, which was absolutely bird turd. I was pissed and I hated that movie. That did 67 measly $million. The budget was 60 million. A failure. I mean, even though it made 7 million above budget, a $7 million profit, that was a joke, and that's why there was no more Next Generation movies.
And let's face it. Like, let's make a Voyager movie. All right, let's make Voyager a series that was less successful than Next Generation, and the last Next Generation movie failed. If they made a Voyager movie, it would have probably made 80 million worldwide or something.
Yeah.
No one would have seen a Voyager movie. That's why they needed to refresh it and do something new, because, see, like the one that came out in the 80s would not work like it would today. It just wouldn't work.
Right.
And the way James did it was, I think it was spot on, because, see, people like all my friends at school, I said, I've seen the new J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie, the first one that came out, and they're like, oh, I'm not watching Star Trek, it's crap. Watched it with them, they said, this is actually really good, this is not like Star Trek in a way. It's still got the core elements of Star Trek, it's still got the core characters, the main thing, the Enterprise and everything. But
that got him the job with Star Wars Episode 7, really, because he did such a phenomenal job.
If it was never for this, we would never have JJ on Star Wars 7, which is what really matters.
True, and that was the main concern. Now let's go down the movies down the row, okay? Insurrection, which I hated as well, 2 in a row that I hated. That did 112 million with a budget of 58 million, which a little bit of a profit, but still not a huge number of profits. I mean, and this is nothing to even write home about. I mean, go back to First Contact, which I loved that movie. They never revealed what the budget was, which is interesting. But it did worldwide 146 million, which was still not that great, I don't think.
I think the Star Trek movie started getting campy when you started having actors from the show direct the films. That's how you knew it was starting to get stupid, when the actors directed the movies.
Yeah. And even back, I know what you're saying, but even back then, I mean, Star Wars did phenomenal. Star Trek did, Generations did 118 million worldwide with a $35 million budget. That's not that huge, difference. And we're going to go by this fast. Star Trek 6 did 96 million, no budget available because they don't want you to know, which that's not cool.
1 second, sandwich. 1 second.
Go ahead. Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier, which I didn't like either, did 52 million, and again, they don't release what the budget is.
That's the one Shatner directed, right?
That's the one that Shatner directed, yes. What's up, Tim?
What's up, man?
What's going on, bro? So, yeah, we're going down the line of Star Trek movie grosses. So, and right now, from what I'm seeing, Into Darkness is the most profitable of all.
But don't you have to compare numbers by time? Like, as you go back, in other words, more money in the 80s was more money, was less money than it is now,
Well, I didn't really do that, but I'm just trying. Yeah, you're right. Actually, you know what? You're absolutely right. You can't go by that. Where'd Nerd go? He left. Oh, he's coming back. He said. All right. Oh, you there?
Sandwich.
You there, bro? Okay. Let me just finish this out, and then we'll try to convert it to times. Star Trek V: The Final Frontier did $52 million, but they never showed what the budget was.
That was a ridiculous movie, that one.
That's I hated that. Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, which I liked, they never showed the budget was $109 million. So even back then, that was good for the time. Back then, and I remember
That's
about
1986.
Yeah, and I remember about that before time because I met James Doohan when I was a kid, in the Fantastic Store, which later on became Jimmy Lee's Universe. They reopened up Jimmy Lee's Universe, but he announced to me and my sister and my dad that they were filming Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, but he didn't tell me what it was about. But I couldn't wait because I used to go see Star Trek movies all the time. Star Trek III, which I loved, was $76 million. Didn't say what the budget was. Star Trek II, which was my absolute favorite of all time, did $78 million with a budget of $11 million. Yeah. And the motion picture did $82 million with a budget of $35 million. So that's all. That's the list of all the Star Trek movies. But once again, going back to Into Darkness. 190 million budget, and it finished off at 462 million. And guess what? There is also going to be the DVD sales, which that will be something completely separate.
I think if you look at it, probably the most successful one was probably 2. Then The Wrath of Khan, because you just said it cost 11 million to make, right? But it made what, 7 times that?
Yeah.
In other words, by $1982 compared to $2013, then
right.
You know, I'm pretty sure you can find a graph out there that
there is a graph. I mean, like, well, we think of it this way. Let's just say, round it off. Into Darkness was 200 million, right? To make. It made 462, so it made it back twice. You know, it's like well over that. So it is the most profitable. The next, I mean, if we did the graph-wise, probably be Wrath of Khan would be right there. Wrath of Khan, maybe, and maybe Wrath of Khan. Well, the first Star Trek movie would be part of that, probably 2. I would think.
Yeah, but didn't you just say that? Didn't you just say that Wrath of Khan only cost 11 million to make?
Yeah, and
but it made profit.
Yeah, profit-wise. So yeah, that would be the number 1.
7 times more than it cost.
That would be the number 1 movie still, Wrath of Khan. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you throw in DVD sales for that, which has been released several times,
yeah, I wonder where we could get the DVD sales. Do they have a listing of that?
Well, DVDs only came around in the mid-'90s, so
no,
I mean,
but I know,
before that
but
was video.
Like they have a site for box office. I'm wondering if there's a site for DVD sales.
I've got Star Trek movies adjusted for inflation, so this should be all the prices.
Oh, good.
Oh, there you go.
Right amount
there you
money.
go.
Good, there we go.
The most profitable Star Trek movie is the 2009 Star Trek movie.
Okay.
Surprise.
Second is Star Trek Into Darkness. The third is Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. The next one, Star Trek First Contact. Then it's Star Trek Motion Picture. Then 6th is Star Trek Wrath of Khan. 7th is Search for Spock. 8th is Generations. 9 is Undiscovered Country. 10 is Insurrection. 11 is Final Frontier. And the last, least profitable, is Nemesis.
But how could you have that if the box office budget was not released for half those movies?
Oh, this is just how much they made.
No. See, that's the thing. That's what we're going by. We're comparing how much it cost to make compared to how much they actually made. And going by that chart, it looks like Wrath of Khan is number 1 because, like he said, it was 11 million to make. It made 78 million. So that's a huge profit margin. That's like The Conjuring. The Conjuring cost 20 million to make, and it made like $300 million.
Well, the original Star Wars, $11 million to make, made $700 million.
Yeah.
Cop that.
I know. Avatar made like almost $3 billion.
No movies ever made $2 billion.
No. Avatar made $2.8 billion. Let me go. Let me get it. Wait a minute.
Are you talking domestically or internationally?
Everything. Wait a minute. Let me get it.
Well, yeah, in that case, it made 2.8.
Wait, but I don't know. Are we still recording? Wait a minute.
Yeah, we're on.
We're on? Okay. Let me just check.
I'm saying, like, domestically, no movies ever made $2 billion in America.
No, not in America, no.
Yeah, but worldwide, Avatar made $2.7 billion.
Yeah, Avatar in America did 760 million.
Yeah.
But like you said, overseas 2,272,275,172 dollars. And then
So
the
it
second,
made its budget back, you're saying. It made its budget back.
well, they didn't reveal what the budget was for that either.
Yeah, that's $237 million budget.
Titanic, it made worldwide 2,185,372,302 with a budget of 200 million. So that was beyond belief. And in USA, it made over 658 million. But that's only
not even a great movie.
Yeah. So
It wasn't bad at the time.
Iron Man 3.
Is that the number 3?
That I'm gonna look it up right now. Iron Man 3 did 408 million here, but worldwide, with everything together, 1,214 million.
Wow.
And Avengers,
Just go highest grossing films, Joe.
Avengers, hold on, had a $220 million budget. In the United States, it did 623 million. Worldwide, 1,511 million.
After that, it's Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. That's fourth. Harry Potter's fourth. Transformers is sixth after Iron Man 3. Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, seventh. Skyfall was eighth.
Skyfall was the #1 Bond movie of all time.
Well, it's
amazing.
number eight of biggest movies of all time.
And that movie made it possible for the next 3 Bond movies, to tell you the truth.
Let me ask you this though: when they make those lists of top movies, do they also take inflation into effect? Because or to account? I mean, because
there's an inflation list and there's just a normal list.
Well, I mean, for example, like Gone with the Wind was a huge hit in its time.
Yeah, there's a list. There's a list for Gone with the Wind. I'm glad you brought that up.
Gone with the Wind is $3 billion adjusted for inflation.
Or Star Wars, even the first movie, like you're talking 1977 numbers versus 2013 numbers. So
adjusted for inflation, it goes Gone with the Wind, Avatar, Star Wars, Titanic, Sound of Music, E.T., Ten Commandments, Doctor Zhivago, Jaws, and Snow White and Seven Dwarfs.
All right, Gone with the Wind. From what it says here, it was 400 million worldwide.
Wow.
That's for then, but that's not even with inflation.
Yeah, go adjusted for inflation. It says $3.3 billion.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So.
Is it bad that I still haven't seen it?
I saw it when I was little. I haven't seen it since then, so I can't even remember. That's a shame on me, actually. Shame on me for not remembering it. Now, what's the time on this, nerd? How much time do we spend in here?
In here?
Yeah, because they cut you off after it's 40 minutes.
Well, it's not live on YouTube, so I can't check.
It is recording now. All right. So
I think it goes on YouTube once you click stop. I think that's what.
No, I gotta upload it. I gotta it saves it to your
it's not connected.
computer. Okay, so other than that,
probably
Chronicles. Well, I'm sorry, Chronicles of Riddick. Riddick so far has 7,300,000 in. It was only a $38 million budget. So probably when the weekend is over, they'll probably have like 40 million or something.
$18 million weekend.
What's up?
$18 million weekend, they reckon.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like 40 or more.
Yeah, well, it will make its budget back on the way because it's independent.
Yeah, that's gonna get a sequel. Absolutely, they already predict it's gonna hit. So.
Yeah, it's on track for $18 million weekend.
Now I want to look up Kick-Ass 2 because let me just see.
I heard good Kick-Ass 2 and really bad things. I heard good things and then there was really, really bad things.
Actually, it hasn't moved in 5 days. It's still at $50,759,035, and it made more than its budget. I mean, its budget was $28 million, but it's done. It's basically done in the water now. It hasn't
But
made
then
it.
it must have sucked because you've got the director from Never Back Down, some dance movie or something, directing it. Come on.
Yeah, it's done. It's. I think it's pulled from the theaters already, believe it or not. So, and then let's see what else. Let me go to my favorite site, DarkHorizons.com, which is from Australia, I believe, right? I think Dark Horizons is an Australian site.
I hope this comes out.
Let's see. Star Wars Episode 7. No, it's the same thing about Benedict Cumberbatch.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, you don't think he's going to be in it, right?
No, I reckon.
No.
I don't want to see you play the exact character, because it's going to be like, it was just the villain in that. He's the villain in the new Hobbit movie. He's the villain in some other movie coming out. I don't want to see him, like, in J.J. Abrams' movie playing the villain again. Unless he plays... He could be a cool Sith Lord, but I don't want to see him as, like, the main villain with that same kind of tone and same kind of, acting style we had as Khan.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a been there, done that scenario. Like, I want to see something fresh for Star Wars. I want something we haven't seen before.
Yeah. Well, you think that's possible? We could see that? I mean, they have, the Star Wars seeks 2 males and 1 female, I guess, Jedi. I guess there's going to be, what, 3 Skywalkers, or is it going to be solos? I mean...
well, I think it's Ben Skywalker, Luke's son, and then...
I don't think they're going to do that, to tell you the truth. I don't think they're going to call them that. They're going to call them that?
It's going to be, I think it's going to be Luke's son and then the Han and Leia twins.
It says early 20s, handsome but not necessarily heroic. He is witty and smart, physically fit. Another man in his 20s, physically fit, handsome, and confident. Young woman, late teens, physically fit, raw energy, independent, and with a great sense of humor. Other roles not included are a 30-something intellectual man, a 40-something military man, and a 70-something opinionated man, and a girl in her late teens. So, interesting. But the Emperor is signed, as far as I know, to be in it. So, but they said he's going to be like a ghost or something, I believe, right?
Yeah, but then he denied it the week later.
Did he?
Yeah, he said he hasn't talked to him about it or anything, and he doesn't know how that would work. And he said he'd rather see a new villain in there than an old one.
I don't know. I think
it's just now something to just for a while. I mean, it's just getting too speculated. They need to get things straight and just announce it.
Right. Let's see what else we have on here. Jennifer Lawrence, she's returning as Mystique. Vin Diesel owns the rights to Riddick? Really?
Yeah.
He did that because he did Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, right? I heard about that. He did the movie just so that way they can give him the rights to it?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So I got another question off the topic of movies for you, nerd. Are you a video gamer or not?
Well, I just finished Tomb Raider, the new one.
Okay.
And I'm pre-ordered my PS4, so...
There you go.
Yeah.
So what is it, November 15th, right?
29th here, I'm pretty sure, over in Australia.
Xbox. I know November 22nd is Xbox One.
Yeah, that's my birthday.
Very nice. What about you, Sam? Happy birthday, Rob. Are you gonna, Sam? Are you gonna get the PlayStation 4?
No, I don't play games.
Yeah, I haven't played games. I'm gonna probably play the Call of Duty Ghosts.
I'm over Call of Duty.
No.
It's too often. Every year there's a new Call of Duty out. Like, come on, just slow it down a bit.
Oh, wait. Okay, we're still recording, right?
There's only so many guys who can run around with guns and shoot people that you can get. Like, there's like 50 men.
Got like a Halo game that's called Destiny, too. We gotta get that.
Yeah, I got Halo Reach. That was, not Halo Reach, Halo 4. I didn't even finish it because I didn't really like it.
Yeah. Who's in picture?
You've got to start reading this show.
I think it's 40 minutes now almost, right?
Joe, just before we stop, you've got to start reading this.
I gotta start what? Oh, what's that?
The new Star Trek Star Wars series.
Oh, awesome.
It's set between 4 and 5. It's just come out this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta go to the comic book store and I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's good. The new Star Wars, which is based on George Lucas's original draft of Star Wars, is out this week.
Okay. What are they up to in the Doctor Who comic?
Huh?
What are they up in that Doctor Who comic? What are they up to? Because the Prisoners of Time or something? Are they actually doing 11?
Yeah, I think so. They just put out 8, right? And I guess we're in the 9th month now, so you can.
I only have the first. I only have the first 3, so I got to get the other ones.
Yeah.
See if they got them somewhere.
You can download them.
Yeah, I like having them though. Put them on my polyurethane bag and.
Right.
You're breaking up, dude. You there? Hello.
I think he froze.
Okay. You there, nerd? What about RoboCop? What do you guys think of RoboCop? That RoboCop that was the trailer. What'd you think of it?
I haven't seen it. My nephew did. He said it looks really good.
It is. It looks really good, actually. I don't know. What do you think, nerd?
I talked about this, didn't I?
I have connection problems, I think. You there, nerd? You know what, Tim? I'll send you the link to it for RoboCop.
Okay, well, it's probably on YouTube, right?
Yeah, you could probably look it up. Type it on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
All right, I'm going to close this out, guys, only because we got like another minute or two, and I'm losing internet connection, so I don't want to end it off just abruptly. So, if anything, we'll do another cast on Google+. But, all right, guys, thanks for appearing, and this has been on Zoom, so something that experimental we're trying, which we already did Real Hooligan's cast on there, so we'll see how this goes in each day. Take care, bye for now.